Nigel Farage.
Well, the question was British jobs for British workers in a global economy. And you're quite right, it is a global economy. In response to that, all Theresa could talk about was the European Union. I think what happened with the Lindsey oil refinery dispute was that the penny dropped for millions of people in Britain as to what had been done to them by successive Conservative and Labour governments, namely signing us up to a political union whereby no British government can guarantee British jobs for British workers. And I would predict that they may have done a deal and gone back to work, but this is going to get a lot worse. We're just about to embark upon massive government spending projects like the Olympics, like power stations that are being built, like the Council House programme that Gordon Brown unveiled last week, and the dawning realisation that British taxpayers, in the depths of a recession, will be funding possibly tens of thousands of workers that are coming into this country from Eastern Europe is something that I think is going to make British workers and British taxpayers very, very angry indeed. I am not against foreign workers. I'm all for people coming to work in this country and for us to go and work there. But it should be done on a proper work permit system, and we as a country should decide who lives and works in Britain, not the institutions in Brussels. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Jeff Hume, do you agree with this claim that people are going to get angrier and angrier about this as we go on through the recession and with the big capital spending projects that there are in the pipeline?
We've certainly got to recognise that in the economic circumstances that people are facing, they're worried about their jobs, their homes, their future. We've got to give those people a greater sense of security in what is a very tough global economy. And a characteristic of that global economy is that people are competing not any longer with the firm down the road. They're competing with firms in China or Japan or in North America. And the way that they compete in this country is not on low wages, but on high skills. And what the Prime Minister was talking about when he was talking about British jobs for British workers was ensuring that we have the skills in this country to fill the vacancies. Because despite the economic downturn...
Why didn't you say that, Jeff?
Despite the economic downturn, there are still something like 500,000 vacancies in our economy. There are large numbers of people, sadly, without work.
What kind of jobs are these 500,000 vacancies that your government goes on about all the time but nobody seems to want to take?
Well, they're skilled jobs, and that's the problem.
They're skilled jobs?
They are skilled jobs.
500,000 skilled jobs?
There are 500,000 jobs that require some degree of qualification.
Well, that's slightly different from a skilled job.
Well, these days it's necessary to have
what do you seriously mean when you say, if you say 500,000 skilled jobs and there are people being thrown out of work, there should be no problem with people being thrown out of work, if your evaluation is correct?
That's exactly the problem the economy has faced for a number of years. Notwithstanding the fact that there are significant vacancies in the economy for certain skills that are in demand, the reality is that many people who do not have work, who are claiming benefit, do not have the necessary skills. And what the Prime Minister was talking about was ensuring that through training, through education, we match the skills that are required to the qualifications in the workforce.
So what have you been doing? What's the government been doing for 12 years if these people don't have these skills? What's the government been trying to do for 12 years?
In 12 years we have created 3 million jobs in this country.
Is it
3 million more jobs today than there were when, frankly, the Conservatives were in power, when we had 3 million people out of work. That's the real difference. We've made sure that people have those opportunities.
And as it happens, Jeff, 80% of those jobs have actually gone to foreign workers.
Well, I checked those statistics to thought you'd say that. That is not true. That is not true.
In 2004, you opened the door in 2004 and you said to millions of people from poor countries in Eastern Europe, as many of you as want to come and live and work in this country can. And frankly, that was an irresponsible thing to do, and it has directly added...
Let's clarify the point. You and your party want this country out of the European Union.
Absolutely.
And as a result, half of our trade would disappear.
Why?
Half of our trade is inside the European Union. Millions of jobs.
We can do better than that, surely. We can do much better than that.
Wait a minute. Try and stick to one argument at a time, and you may get somewhere. Theresa May said 80% of the new jobs created went to foreigners. You said, I can refute that. Farage says, no, it's true. You refute it.
After the 3 million extra jobs, about 1.5 million are to British citizens. The way this calculation is made, it depends on counting people born abroad, but who are British citizens.
Okay.
And that's the explanation. 1.5 million people are British citizens who have those jobs.
Just one final point on what you've been talking about. Is it legal to say that 100 new jobs will be given to British workers? Is that a legal thing to say within the rules of the EU that everybody goes on?
That hasn't been said. What has been said is that those jobs will be advertised locally, that is, near to the plant.
All right. Shami Chakrabarti.
I think people